I want you to picture two professionals, both 26 years old, living in the same city, working in the same industry. The first person spent their early 20s chasing every AI gold rush trend. Their resume is a graveyard of abandoned tool subscription, boxes of software they signed up for, but never mastered, and prompt engineering certificates that became obsolete 6 months after they were printed. They check their LinkedIn feed with a knot in their stomach because they feel like they're constantly 2 updates away from a career crisis. The second person took a different path. Their toolkit is modest, but they understand the fundamental logic behind how large language models actually function. They haven't chased the latest generation of every gadget or app. They've focused on skills with high cost per use value. This person looks at the future with calm confidence. They aren't worried about the AI takeover because they've built a career with OpenAI, OpenAI. The divergence between these two didn't happen because of luck. It happened because the economy we grew up understanding no longer operates by the same rules. Just like in finance, the math has shifted in the world of work. If you continue old habits of learning, you are actively working against your own future value. Here are the 10 AI and future skills lessons. Your 20s will teach you the hard way if you don't pay attention. Now, 1. The convenience trap of AI. In 2026, many people use AI the same way they use food delivery apps. It's convenient. It feels fast, but there is a massive hidden markup on your potential. When you let an AI write your emails or code without understanding the underlying logic, you are paying a convenience fee with your own expertise. Over time, the gap between what you can produce through an app and what you actually know widens. The lesson? Don't be a consumer of AI outputs. Be the orchestrator of the logic. The math of your career only works if you keep the expertise, not just the convenience. 2. Foundational logic is the index fund of most successful professionals I see don't try to time the market by picking the one specific tool that will win. Instead, they invest in the S&P 500 of skills, basic logic, data literacy, and systems thinking, just as a teacher named Margaret built wealth by staying invested in a broad index during a crisis. You build career resilience by mastering the core principles of how data flows. Tools change. Nvidia might be the leader today, but the broad market of logical thinking has delivered returns for decades and will continue to do so. 3. Avoid boredom. Upgrades in your tech stack. There is a pattern I see where people upgrade their software or pivot their entire skill set simply because they're bored or a newer version exists. Their current workflow operates flawlessly, but the new release has a marginally improved feature. This is wealth destruction disguised as progress. Minimalists in the future economy follow a strict rule: never replace a skill or a tool that functions properly just because of marketing hype. Boredom is not a failure of your skill set. It's a sign you should be applying what you know rather than learning something new that affairs know. Detectable performance difference. 4. Calculate the cost per use of your learning before you spend 40 hours on a new course. Calculate it. Cost per use. A $2,000 deep dive into a niche AI video editor you'll use twice a year is an obscenely expensive way to spend your time. Meanwhile, a $30 book on communication or critical thinking that you use daily costs less than 60 cents per use over a year. This calculation destroys the impulse to hoard skills. It reveals what actually makes sense versus what just feels appealing in a trending headline. 5. The high-income skill poverty trap. You can earn $300,000 a year as a specialized operator of a specific AI platform, but if you don't keep the fundamental skill up, you are in a high-income poverty trap. On paper, you are wealthy. In reality, you are one software update away from being broke. The trap doesn't care how much you earn in your current role. It only cares how much of that skill is portable. If your value is entirely tied to someone else's platform, you have no financial or professional cushion. 6. Human-centric skills are real estate in a digital storm. As $124 trillion in wealth transfers between generations. we see that sectors aligned with younger preferences like AI infrastructure are capturing the market. But just like real estate, the most valuable land in the future is human empathy and leadership. Technical skills might depreciate like a new car the moment you drive it off the lot, but the ability to lead a team through a transition or manage a complex human relationship, that's an asset that doesn't evaporate. It appreciates. 7. The replacement test for your daily tasks. Walk through your workday and look at every task you perform. Ask yourself, if this task was automated today, would I spend my time to replace it with something better? Be honest. Most of our daily busy work exists through inertia, not intention. These tasks have negative value. They cost you mental energy without providing a benefit. Minimalists of the future ruthlessly eliminate tasks that failed this replacement test to create mental space for deep work. 8. The 24-hour rule. For information, konsumstava. Economy of 2026 wants you spending your attention unconsciously. Algorithms are designed to trigger a purchase of your time through FOMO, fear of missing out. Apply a 24-hour waiting rule before you dive into a new breaking AI news story or a trending debate. Most must-know updates evaporate within a day. By creating friction for your attention, you ensure UNL capital is invested, not just spent. 9. Your 20s are the peak compounding years for curiosity. Your 20s sit at a unique intersection. You have the most remaining compounding time. A skill learned at 22 works dramatically harder than a skill learned at 52. The mathematical leverage of learning how to learn cannot be recovered later. If you spend your 20s just executing rather than exploring, you are missing the longest bull market of your life. The multiplier effect of foundational knowledge in your 20s is the difference between a comfortable career and one plagued by constant reskilling. Anxiety. 10. Define your skill enough. This is what traps professionals. They never define what enough looks like. So they keep purchasing more courses without ever arriving at satisfaction. Their income of knowledge increases, so they upgrade their expectations, and the cycle continues. Define in advance what level of mastery you actually need to be sufficient. Once you reach that finish line, stop being a perpetual student and start being a prodigious accumulator of results. The bottom line, things draining your potential in 2026 share common features. They exploit convenience, status, and inertia. They depend on you not running the numbers on where your time is going. Picture yourself at 70. In one version of the future, you are relaxed because you built cognitive optionality decades ago. You aren't threatened by the next big thing because you understand the math of the world. In the other version, you are anxious, constantly trying to catch up with an economy that moved past you because you focused on spectacle over security. Both versions of you are created by the decisions you make today. Your career capital either works for the corporations who own the tools, or it works for you. Knowing the difference is worth more than any prompt or app ever will be.